Hello, everyone, and welcome back to The Rundown, where we talk about 2A news and conservative views. I will be your host today, Craig DeLuz, coming at you from the West Coast, the left coast, behind the Iron Curtain, otherwise known as the Sierras. But as we all know, I do not do this program by myself.
That's right. My name is Mike Piwowarski, coming to you live from the East Coast. That's the coast with the most, from the co-host with the most here on The Rundown. 2A views, conservative news, and Craig, guess what day it is?
Oh, it's that day.
Guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Who's ready? Oh.
Throw Punch Thursday, bitch.
It's a great day. It's a great day.
It is a phenomenal day. It is definitely a phenomenal day.
Phenomenal day. How was your phenomenal Thursday going?
Well, it was going okay there for a minute, and then all of a sudden I sign into Restream. Dude, I'm telling you, these people have got me going nuts because I literally ran this feed for like 3 or 4 minutes before coming on, right? And it was all green. It was all go. Now all of a sudden I'm getting red signals. Internet speed. I have perfect internet connection. And the only time I have a problem is with these people. Restream.
It's Restream. It's not Rendezvous?
It's not Rendezvous. It's Restream.
All right, well, then Restream sucks.
Yeah, because you're coming through fine to me. You and I, we're right here. But
there we are.
Anyway, we've got good signal. They've got bad signal.
Yeah. F. Scott Fitzgerald. Yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff. How was your Thursday going thus far?
Pretty good. I'm over here at Lion Arms helping out. Hanging out is more like what I'm doing. I probably get in the way, but hanging out with these guys today and having a good time.
Excellent. That is always good. That is always good to hear. Glad that you are having an excellent time.
I didn't say excellent. I said good time.
Having a good time. That's good. That is phenomenal. Phenomenal.
Excellent time is when you hold your hand up and somebody puts a beer in it. That's an excellent time.
That's an excellent time. Not quite having an excellent time yet, I see. Hoping
working.
for one though. You're believing for an excellent time. I can see that.
I'm gonna leave it there for a little bit, just in case.
Just in case. We'll tell you what. While you're waiting to have a good time, how about we go ahead and give a quick shout out to our sponsors?
And I'm having a good time, just not having the excellent time.
I'm sorry. While you're waiting on your excellent time.
There we go. Hitman Industries, hitmanindustries.net. Now you can get AR barrels in rifle and pistol calibers, any length you desire for your next AR rifle or pistol build. Check them out at hitmanindustries.net. California Republican Assembly fighting a good fight behind enemy lines. Now you could take part in California's future today. If you want the best in tactical concealed holsters on the market, get on over to Hog Holsters. That's HAWG holsters.com. Hogholsters.com. Use the discount code The Rundown. That's all one word, no spaces, all caps. Get yourself a nice little discount. And if you're looking for the best in field gear, the best in tactical gear, you can get everything except the gun over at what is it, Craig?
USCombatGear.com.
I just want to see if you were paying attention. It sounded like you were doing something. It sounded like you were busy. I figured I'd put you on the spot.
Dude, I'm just trying to get this signal going, so the people can enjoy the program. And we want them to watch us. Like I said, folks, if it seems kind of skippy or anything like that, trust me. If it seems kind of like it's buffering or anything like that and it's bothering you too much, just remember, right after the program, this goes up over at Spotify. You can watch it there. You can listen to it there. I watched the show I've watched it over at Rumble. Even if we buffer, there tends to be a pretty good quality video over there at Rumble as well. So if you haven't already done so, please make sure follow us at one or both, or follow us wherever you are connected. If you use Apple Podcasts, use that. I don't care.
Yeah. You know what? I figured I'm the show. So.
All right, Skippy.
All right, babe.
Babe. Okay. Therefore, we have figured it out. So for those of you who cannot pronounce Piwowarski or Mike, his name is now Skippy.
Skippy and the Babe. It's like a 70s cop drama.
It does sound like it does like a 70s cop drama.
It's a Quinn Martin production.
There you go. I'm down with that. I'm down with that. All right, let's get into today's stories. I wanted to start off talking, for those of you who have been following everything that's been going on with the king of Bitcoin, Mr. Sam Bankman-Fried. Well, he got 25 years in prison today. That is, from what I understand, the second longest sentence for a financial crime or for a white collar crime that has ever been handed out. The longest is went to Bernie Madoff, who got over 100 years. But was that he's not the first Democrat megadonor to wind up in jail. and I just
is that Mickey Dolenz in the photo there?
That is not Mickey Dolan. That is Bernie Madoff. That is Jeffrey Epstein. That is Henry Weinstein. Once again,
Harvey Weinstein.
Harvey Weinstein. I stand corrected.
Mickey Dolenz from the Monkees there. Like he's on the last train to Clarksville now. Going to Clarksville Federal Penitentiary, baby.
What's interesting about this, Mike, is, once again, so he's not the first Democrat megadonor. And mind you, he's not going to be the last Democrat megadonor that we're going to see that's going to be spending some jail time, because you know that our good friend P. Diddy, whose house was raided just the other day, and who was they finally caught up with him at an airport trying to get out of Dodge for allegedly sex crimes with a minor. He also is a significant donor to the Democratic Party, and it's looking like he's going to be doing some jail time. And I'm like, this is all just, I'm like, how come this stuff never sticks to Democrats?
We first off, let's go with, you said it, alleged sex crimes on Diddy. All right, yes. Alleged, right? But isn't there some kind of scale for the greatness he's brought in the world of music that we can lay this crime up against? You know, I mean, listen, if it's real and it's a sex crime against a minor, they need to put him away. But if this is just a man messing with Diddy, I got a problem with that.
Well, let's just put it this way: we'll call it the R. Kelly.
Okay. I'm gonna pee on you.
I'm gonna pee on you. Drip, drip, drip. Those of you who have never watched the Chappelle Show, you don't get it, and you are missing out. The Chappelle Show was the height of both inappropriate and yet culturally relevant comedy.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. In fact, did you see? I think they did a little interview with Little John recently, and they asked him when did he know he was famous. He said it was the Dave Chappelle skit. He goes, I couldn't go to the airport without people going, what? Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
He's like, that's how he knew he was famous.
He says it's going to be on my headstone now.
Let's get back to the point here, the thing in which we're talking about. All of these folks, I mean, we're talking about some despicable human beings. We're talking about a guy who was assassinated by the Clinton family. I mean, hung himself. We're talking about one of the most notorious rapists in Hollywood, and not just the number one person in terms of, I mean, the guy who got the longest sentence for a white collar crime, but now the number two person who's been found guilty and been convicted of and now sentenced. This is the number two person for a white collar crime. All of them are Democrat megadonors. And that's not even to mention the smaller Democrat megadonors that we know of that are spending time in jail.
Bernie Madoff got that punishment because Bernie made off with Democrat money. That's why he took from other donors. So they got some extra special enhancement penalties that they put on his ass.
I like that when Bernie made off with
Madoff took money from the Wilpons, the owners. So I know all about Madoff and his evil.
Yeah, I just, once again though, going back to the conversation though, it's like, Do people not understand that this is just who the Democrats traffic with? This is who they decide to spend. This is who they spend their time with. This is with whom they do business and politics.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And then they literally get caught with their pants down, Craig. Right? You've got these guys that are arrested, and now there's a picture of every Democrat in the world with them, and they're like, "Oh no, I didn't." Yeah,
Right. Well, and I love how they always pull out the picture of Jeffrey Epstein. I mean, with Donald Trump. But I'm like,
yeah,
okay, number one, Donald Trump was never been to the island, and it's always the same picture, right?
yeah,
Well, there's
yeah.
two pictures. There's one where they're actually facing each other, and then there's one where they're back to back, and one's talking to one person, one person's talking to the other, and those are really the only ones that you find out there. But they always ignore the ones with Bill Clinton and Mr. Epstein.
Listen, they're famous people. Everybody wants to get their photo with them. That's the way it goes. You line up. They've got millions and millions of people with photos against them. Craig, you're an actor in your other job. You must have at least 3 or 4 pictures out there with people you don't know in it that took your photo.
Oh, most definitely, most definitely. Not ain't nobody doubt it. I have definitely got those photos out there.
Yeah, yeah.
So people who have relationships like Hillary Clinton. I mean, once again, we're not just talking about people who have photos with Democrats. We're talking about mega donors. We're talking about people who've contributed hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars.
Yeah.
In SBF's case, hundreds of millions of dollars or tens of millions of dollars to a political cause. And it ain't Republicans.
It's like the Macaulay Culkin Michael Jackson friendship. We know it happened, but ain't nobody talking about it.
Ain't nobody talking about it.
Nope.
Nope.
We signed some papers, and that was it. Yep.
All right. Another thing I want to talk to you about is America. There's a recent Gallup poll that was done, and it's basically showing that Israel is actually losing support amongst Americans when it comes to the war in Gaza. And this is a story coming out of a Breitbart. It says poll majority. Oh no, that's the wrong one, huh? That's the wrong one. Where's it at? Okay, I got the wrong one. Anyway,
no, is that it? No, that's not it. Is that it?
No. Anyway, well, the next two stories really kind of go together, but this is Biden's shifting support for Israel, and in his own words, gone from unwavering to over-the-top criticism. And what's happened is you might recall just the other day, the United States actually abstained from a vote on the call for a ceasefire. And the reason they say they abstained and didn't vote for it was because they said, well, there was no real link to. They didn't require the hostages to be released. Well, the reality is that America. I mean, we had a chance to actually get out, and once again, there is nothing in it that talks about what happened. That talks about what happened on October 7th, and there's absolutely nothing in it requiring the release of hostages. Well, a lot of the reason why the president is taking this position is because there's now a poll that's out that shows that about 51 to 55% of Americans are now kind of, how do I want to put this? They want to see the war in Gaza end. And that's in the way in which they worded the question. And the real thing is the media is putting it as America is standing up and they're not liking Israel, or they're taking issues with Israel and what's going on. But really what it comes down to is they really kind of want to see the war and the bombing end.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the same thing President Trump said when they talked about what does he want to see in the Ukraine-Russian war. He said he wants to see people stop dying. And I believe that's pretty much the same sentiment of people that took this poll, is that they're not anti-Israel by any means. They would just like to see people stop dying. And I can't say that's a bad, but I can understand, the poll again has been skewed. Can I say something to you about Gallup polls, Greg? Can we talk Gallup polls for a second?
Yes, we can.
So as a young man, I used to go to the track with my grandfather all the time up in New York. We used to go to the Belmont and the Aqueduct. He was a big horse guy. Now he might have spent $20 a week. It was just his place to go and hang out with buddies. But they would study the horses and study the trends, and they would look at they were talking about the gallops. When they started their gallops and the galloping and the gallop rate and everything like that. And I was probably 15 or 16, Craig, before I realized the gallop pole wasn't about horse tracks. I didn't know that. I thought a gallop pole was about horses and horse tracks.
Okay, I found the article here. It was over here at NBC News. But it says, Israel faces growing U.S. ire on the war in Gaza. I won't get into the whole article, but I think you makes a good point. One of the best statements he ever made was he was like, they need to get the job done. So he didn't say ceasefire. He said, get the job done. In other words, do what you got to do. If ending the war means we need to eliminate those last 4 battalions of Hamas fighters, then get it done and get it over with. Because I think what Israel has tried to do is they've tried to be strategic. They've tried to avoid the loss of innocent lives, and it's caused the prolonging of what's been going on. They've caused the prolonging of the war. At this point, what they need to do is they need to do what they got to do, get in there, get out, and get it done.
It's time to start going house to house again, pulling everybody out, getting everybody out in between. If they're good people, we'll let them go over here to the relocation camp, and if they're bad people, they're going to that same kind of camp, but it's 6 feet further down.
Right, and there's no need to diddle about it. No need to be, just get it done. Just do it.
I like you dropping a diddle word in there. That's nice.
You like that?
That was for P. Diddy, wasn't it?
That was for P. Diddy. Yeah, I dropped the diddle for P. Diddy.
Drop the diddle for him. There you go.
But stop messing around, man. Look, at this point, you are starting to. They did it because it was the right thing to do. I mean, they've taken their time because it's the right thing to do. But having said that, you're now starting to lose the PR war, and the situation is not going to improve, right? The only way it's going to improve is you take out those last 4 battalions, get it done.
Yeah, agreed. Must happen. And I think former President Trump, like you said, hit it right on the head. They need to get the job done.
Yeah, masterful. I was very, very impressed. Not just with that he got the war policy right, the military policy right, or strategy right, but he put it and he got the foreign policy right, but he also put it in a term that was very simple and easy to understand.
Right, unlike the Fleas and Flows and Flozen Act.
But his bus been wiped.
His bus been wiped. That guy. Just get a shotgun. Yeah.
Well, but that goes to the shifting position that Biden has had on this whole thing. Biden has not been consistent, and literally, here's what's happening, Mike. He has decided that he is going to the Gen Zers who aren't going to show up to the polls anyway, but he's decided that he's going to suck up to the woke Gen Zers and try and be on both sides of this thing, and it just isn't going to work. He's not going to get away with it, and it's going to wind up costing him the election. Do you know that his polling numbers on how he's handled this, as bad as the southern border is, at least 28% of voters agree with or support his handling of the southern border. 27% support his handling of the war in Gaza. 27%.
And I told you
to be true. I definitely believe that to be true.
Yeah. And it's probably more like they pulled 40% and only 28% agreed with them. There's actually illegal immigrants that don't agree with the policy because now they're here. They want it to stop. They don't want.
They want a secure southern border.
That's exactly right. Yeah. They know the crazies down there. They don't want that coming up.
They know. Look, we think we were trying to get away from.
That's it. Yep.
No mas. All right. Next, Mr. Youngkin, the governor there in Virginia, had an opportunity. He had 3 gun control bills come before him. And interestingly, he vetoed 1 and signed 2. And I wanted to talk a little bit about those. Here it says, This is the Hill reporting. Youngkin vetoes Virginia assault weapons ban, signs 2 gun control measures. It says the Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin vetoed an assault weapons ban that passed the state legislature last month alongside multiple other gun control bills in a 30-bill veto session on Tuesday. Quote, I swore an oath to defend the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution of Virginia, and that absolutely includes protecting the right of law-abiding Virginians to keep and bear arms, Youngkin said in a statement after vetoing the bills. The governor did sign 2 more limited gun regulations into law, however, one that bans gun trigger switches that can make firearms have access to weapons. Now, the first one, I have to admit, I'm really not sure of the switches that he's referring to, so I'm going to defer to you on that one, Mike. But on the second one, I got to say this. I understand the concept of, first of all, we have a right to own firearms, but we also have a responsibility to make sure that those firearms are safe. And I don't know that I'm against the idea of, if you deem that someone is to the point of criminally negligent when they absolutely positively know someone is a threat, and yet they don't take actions to make sure that their firearms are secured so that person can't get a hold of them. I don't know that I oppose the idea of them being able to be brought up on criminal charges. What are your thoughts?
Well, it's nice to see that he said no on the assault weapon ban, and let's remember that he is a governor of the South. Okay, so whether you happen to be Democrat or Republican, going after firearms kills your vote from either side of the aisle. So he is a governor of the South and must protect Second Amendment rights when he can. The other 2 laws, Craig, and here's what Democrats do. Here's what gun control politicians do. He signed 2 new laws, Craig, and they're laws that already exist. So he signed 2 more laws that are because they were new manufacture of machine guns were banned in 1986. So it's already on the books. Now, whether you agree with it or not, and you and I, Craig, I think we agree that they should be legal. However, it's currently illegal, and he signed a law that said, yeah, they're still illegal. Don't do it. But I don't believe that's covered in this. So we can move on from there. And then the second being, listen, the Youth Handgun Safety Act's been in existence for 30 years. You cannot leave a firearm unattended around a child, whether they're a threat or not a threat. It's already against the law to leave firearms out with children.
Well, there you go. See? Simple enough.
Yeah, so he got some points with the Dems, with the gun control folks, by signing in 2 laws that already exist. And you also, Craig, can't give firearms to those that are a threat. That's a crime as well. So he's signed laws that already exist.
Well, exactly. Well, there you go. See, folks, simple.
Yeah, every once in a while I get something right. Yeah.
And I think, but what I like about the conversation is that it's, first of all, we do not support gun control. We are not believers in gun. Well, let me clarify. I do support gun control. Usually, it's in the grip, right?
That's right. Yeah. 5-point stance. There you go.
5-point stance, exactly.
Grip, eyes, sights. Yeah. Reset. Yeah, all of it. Yep,
exactly. But keep and bear arms. We do not support. We clearly do not. We clearly do not support those things. But we also don't appreciate, or we also want to make sure that people are exercise their rights responsibly.
Yes.
And when you are, what's the word I'm looking for? When you are deliberately negligent in creating a situation of harm, you ought to be held liable.
Right. Agreed. Absolutely right. Right. Yeah, Jack McCoy would call that depraved indifference. Right.
There you go. I'll give you an example. I had, we had a number of firearms in the house, and we just kept them. We had trigger locks on all of them when I wasn't carrying or wasn't using them. We had an individual who was staying with us for a while who we knew, or at least believe that now with the grandkids here. But the point is, once again, folks, and this is we don't just have rights, but with rights come responsibility. We need to make sure. Now, they're going to try and regulate that. I'm not in favor of them regulating that responsibility. I think we as law-abiding citizens ought to step up and just be responsible.
Right. You exercise your Second Amendment rights responsibly. There are states out there that have now mandated and put in law that you must have a gun safe and firearms must be secure in the safe. How do you enforce that, Greg? Just unenforceable laws.
Well, what winds up happening is that you wind up getting charged with an additional crime after a tragedy has already happened.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
And that's all that winds up happening.
Yep.
Anyway. All right, folks, so that brings us around to our parting shots. Parting shots are brought to you by Hog Holsters. Just go to hogholsters.com. Make sure you use the discount code The Rundown, all caps. No, hilarious. And I think he gives a pretty good explanation about where I think a lot of voters are. He's a little more center left, but he kind of explains why he has a hard time with the left. Check it out.
I am, and I don't want to deal with it. I think we're far enough along in the show where I can tell you I'm on the left. The line is right here. This is where I like to stand. I stand on the left because I care about others. I think kids should get, I do. I think kids should get free lunches at school. I also think that is an idea that my brain came up with. What keeps me closer to the line is that my brain also thinks if you're a teenager and you put your hand on a teacher with intent to harm them, that teacher should be able to beat the shit out of you in front of everyone. So, here I am. They don't want me way down there, and they don't want me way down there. So I just did, right? Yeah, that's pretty good. Good stuff. Yeah, you can hear them? Yeah, it's bitchy over there, I know. How about what do you got going on way down there? I'm like, you don't even want to know, man. They think you eat babies. And I try to explain to them, how would I have time to eat babies when I'm busy voting more than once? But it's because I thought he'd be dead by now. I want to be clear. I don't wish death on anyone, but he didn't look great. Biden looks like a character in a video game and somebody...
It was literally, I did that whole thing just for that last part. He looks like someone dropped a controller in a video game.
It's the Roomba. It's called the Roomba dance. Yep.
Yeah, I'll tell you, he lost me at the, I believe kids should have, free lunch. I'm not for it, not against it. I just don't think the state has an obligation to pay for a free lunch for kids.
Yes, I've got a story about that, but I'm not telling it here.
Okay. All right. We don't want anybody to catch charges.
Yeah. There we go.
All right. And next up we have, this one is from our good friends over at the Babylon Bee. AIDS wake Biden to play that fun president game again.
Yep. Here's your Thorazine. We need you on stage. Read the card.
And that's pretty much all they do. All right, folks. Well, hey, that's going to be about it. But before we go, we got to give a quick shout out to our sponsors.
Yep. Let's say hey again to our good friends at Hitman Industries. That's hitmanindustries.net. You can get AR barrels and rifle and pistol calibers any length you desire. Check them out at hitmanindustries.net. California Republican Assembly Fight Gun at uscombatgear.com.
That's right, folks. Take a moment. Please visit our sponsors and let them know that it was the guys over at The Rundown that sent you. And with that, we will once again call it a day. We appreciate you tuning in. We appreciate you liking and sharing the program and encouraging your friends to do the same. We will be back tomorrow for Free for All Friday. Till then, have a good evening.